I'm working out the method of carving out this pie crust decoration on the outer edge of this tripod tabletop. And the first thing that I did was to remove this extra material along right here. You can see all of this extra material here that has to be shaped. And I start out with a number 3 gouge and scribe out this shape here. This is a number 3, I think it's about 12 millimeter. And then I come in, well, there's a lot of material here, and I did use this small router, trim router, and knocked out some of the waste. And I made sure that this router bit did not go down all the way to the depressed surface here. And also I made this little plate, which is 5/16 inch thick, as the depression here is 5/16, and used that to help support the router. I didn't fix it in any way, I just moved it around with the router and knocked out a lot of this waste. And then using the number 3 and coming down, and then coming from the side and taking out the waste material. And then working it over and over and over again till I'm down to the lower surface there. So that's the first step, getting rid of this waste. And then I set the hand router to almost the depth, just slightly above the depth, and cleaned up back to the back edge there with a hand router. So that leaves a thing like this, and I manually just drew in about halfway between the outside edge and the inside, just halfway, the same curve. And then again, used the number 3, and sometimes this shape right here is a number 5, right in close. So that's the only place I used the number 5. And then I could come in and take a little chip out. I'm using the number 3 gouge to take a little chip. At this halfway mark, and then I come back and go a little bit deeper with the vertical cut. There's the number 5. I think number 3 works for the rest of this. And then I use this chisel for this mostly flat section here. And then I reset the router, the hand router, to about a 1/16 inch depth. And I come in with the hand router back to the edge, leaving a little 1/16 inch deep shelf, flat shelf. I notch this out because that helps with the hand router. Okay, so now we've got a flat shelf that's a 1/16 inch down from the top surface. Then I use this number 3, and I think this is what, 5 millimeter. Yeah, number 5 millimeter, and start to work on knocking out the front end of this shelf here, leaving just about a 1/16 inch shelf in the back here, flat shelf. So I'm just beveling off down to about a 1/16 down at the bottom as well, maybe an 1/8 for starters anyway. You have to watch the grain direction. Now I got to come back this way because of the grain direction. Also, it helps to use this straight gouge and make a little miter cut, so to speak, here at these joints, or these transitions, I should say. And then the gouge comes in and right to that cut. So I'm trying to leave a flat up here at the top, just about a 1/16 inch wide. To come back the other direction now. Not quite yet. Let me get this out here. Right at a transition here of the grain direction. So I'm creating that cove shape down to about a 1/16 off the bottom face here. Now I should be able to come back this way. Come into that little miter cut. Okay, that's kind of roughed out. Then the last thing I do is try to round over just above that flat. Just round over this edge, inside edge. And I see here that I haven't rounded over this inside edge. I'll have to come back the other direction. This is an approximation of the original shaping, but it's probably not going to be an exact of what was done. And I have cut the outside edge here in this area, and I just used a scroll saw to cut these pieces out. Now later I have to bevel the edge all the way around here, the outer edge, bevel it down instead of it being square. I'll probably use files to do that. So now this area here, and I need to come from the other direction. And then I have these gouges honed on a leather strap or tormac or something to get it sharp as you can get it. Now, how do I get inside here? I'm going to have to wait until I take this off over here to get into here. That's somewhat the first steps of roughing this out. There'll be maybe some filing and some sanding perhaps to get that all smoothed out.